about our organs and relationship with the people, to other organisms, to the environment, to the earth, uh, to the climates from which we derived and we live in today. Our organs are in an organization in a body from bottom to up, up to bottom, interconnected to each other. Metabolism in Dutch, stofwisseling, which means exchange of stuff, meaning the air you breathe, the way you feel the environment, the nervous system, etc. The perception of other people, for example, like sexual impulses, stimuli, etc., all have an impact upon your body and your metabolism, stuff whistling, the exchange of stuff, and this will affect how you will think, how you will perceive the world, for example. If you're, let me see, in a moment, if you are organized in this way, like you're very sexually motivated, you will perceive the world as well as sexually inside it, that everything you will, or much of it, you will interpret as sexually motivated. Normal words, normal discussions you will perceive with a sexual tone, for example. Other things are if you are more dominant in the stomach and not necessarily in a healthy way, you will perceive the world in a more hungry manner of consumption, and life is more about food than about anything else. Even reading a book is about consumption and not necessarily about understanding and digesting, just consumption for the sake of consumption. Anyway, the organs are in this way have these functions developed over the centuries, over the millions of years as developing organisms. For example, 2 hands, 5 fingers, thumbs, the pinky to hold, to have a good grip together with a thumb, and in Japanese honorary method, they cut off parts of the pinky. This is not just as a show of respect for if you have misdone something, but also to for the person to have less grip for the sword, for example, or pistol, whatever. Anyway, as I'm telling you, everything has a function. The heart, the brains, the teeth, how the teeth are developed, for example, by tens of thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, when primates, certain primates, not all of them, developed or understood how to cook meat, for example. The teeth and the jaws started to develop in a certain way. Today we have facial degeneration due to the food, a lot of yogurt or bread and weak meat or whatever. Nothing really strengthening the jaw, so many people have problems today with the wisdom teeth in the back of your jaw with developing. This will have a problem with coming out or pushing other teeth away. Luckily I don't have this, but in general a lot of people have this problem due to modern diets. And this degeneracy is due to we haven't been developed in this way from suddenly a reasonable diet or a paleo diet into a sudden modern diet with GMO products, soft foods, fast food, etc., where you don't really need to chew, etc. So about the past and the manifesting of our organs, well, we walk on 2 legs, we walk straight up, our necks are developed, the nose, for example, the nose of sub-Saharan Africans are more flat, big nostrils but in a flat way. This is against the heat and against dust and sand, etc. So they're more protected in this way, just like the skin is protected against sunlight in a certain way. But in the West, they will not get too much vitamin D, and this will get defects in bone functions, for example, because we need vitamin D in a certain manner. So in the West, they will not get it, etc. The Mongoloid people have more split eyes. This is against snow blindness. If a Chinese person wants to look at the sun, he really has to look up with his whole face to the sun instead of looking up with your eyes to the sun. This is a good development, even though we have the brains to develop, for example, glasses as an extra defense. But it was good in the Ice Age, this development for them. So you can understand how we have developed in certain climates and we are manifested from these climates. We are a past continuous manifestation. And this also relates to intelligence, the Ice Age and the cunning of the stupid people who were impulsive in eating everything instead of sharing. And so other people will also share with you and you will receive as well. And you have rations, you don't eat everything at once, but you spread it over a course of weeks. So you will survive and build up communities. So this also had an impact on your intelligence and how you perceive the world. And IQ is nothing more really than pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is very handy, but it's more than just pattern recognition. Good instincts are very, very important. And good instincts just, you see something and you understand it. You see a certain snake, for example, never seen one, 1, 2, 3, or you've encountered one time a snake, but the body says, watch out, don't interact with it directly, don't just touch it, whatever. These are normal instincts. It's just the past manifested in our stimuli, immediate impulses, and etc. Today this also degenerated because we're protected by the healthcare system, by degenerate breeding, etc. Sickness, and yeah. Anyway, we are, let me see. Anyway, about the climate manifestation. Specifically, we have been developed as with a certain degree of intelligence and consciousness, understanding the world in a certain way of self-awareness and relating self to others and to other organisms, reflection of self upon the other, and for a certain higher degree consciousness to see yourself above others in a way, or below others, but in a hierarchical system. As a past continuous manifestation, the Ice Age, etc. This was a culling of our intelligence, which not all peoples endured, and we had diseases, the Black Plague, etc. And this pushed certain peoples into a certain intellectual bubble of preserving and breeding of certain people, classes, etc. As a past continuous manifestation, we developed among forests, ice ages, we developed the skills, the traits, etc. And today, in modern societies, especially the last 200 years after the Industrial Revolution, but especially the last 60 years, I would say, with a lot of world wars, European civil wars, and the Napoleonic War, culling a lot of good people, the healthy people, from the gene pool, and well, the weaker, the elderly, and the women, etc., they remain, and well, they procreate. And if you combine weak plus weak, in general you get weak. As simple as that. If you combine two strong, healthy persons to reproduce, you get to, in general, strong offspring. But today's GMO products, of course, have an effect upon your epi-genetics, which means above your genetic makeup. This will affect your brain of your child and also of yourself in a less direct manner. The less direct manner is like it will reflect upon the offspring, because the offspring is the mirroring reflection of yourself, of your past, of your ancestors. And this epigenetics, it has mainly an effect during pregnancy for the woman, and for the man continuously in the seed. The woman during pregnancy, because the child will have direct effect upon what the woman will do, and for the man continuously, because everything has continuous effect upon his sperm, his seed. It will continuously update or degenerate, whatever, according to the environment and to what he takes in of the air, of the food, of the drinks, Today we have a lot of Coca-Cola addicts, etc., Burger King, McDonald's, whatever, and even just fruits, etc. You don't know, with pesticides, etc., um, modified, modified shit, etc. And of course, the stimuli of the brains, we are pumped with continuously stimulation of pleasure. Television numbing your mind, work numbing your mind, because 2000 years ago we didn't do the kind of stupid jobs we do today. And again, the jobs also have mostly relationship to stupid people with their dumb problems, etc. This all has an effect upon your organization of the body and of the hierarchy of the organs. Politically motivated, for example, homosexuality is propagated, and it says pleasure is pleasure, but is that true? So far as I understand biology, the anus is designed with a function to release gases and feces, as simple as that. It has a specific function of the whole of the body, mouth, digestion system, stomach, rectum, simple as that. The pleasure for sexual intercourse is to have a motivation for procreation, together with the appreciation for beauty, hip to waist ratio, breast, etc. And due to the culling of people, due to ideological breeding, social selection, so it's Christianity, Marxism, etc., and shaming of healthy people, and the inverted elites, the economic elites today on top, with the better persons suppressed or ideologically numbed, you get a worse half of the population breeding, and of course sheltering walls of civilization. Everybody has a right to procreate, apparently. Yeah, the horse society we live in today, contraceptive pills, after birth called, having effect upon the hormone balance of women. That means that they will not have this during 1 month, one time in a month. A woman in general has this specific kick in the body of a hormone disbalance, which is a normal disbalance, which has her more horny, simply said. And this will, in other times, have her go cheat, for example, on her husband for another man who was more masculine in a way, or more rude. This secured the existence of certain offspring out of marriage. So, but due to contraceptives suppressing this hormone disbalance for the woman, this will also not happen 1 to 3 too often. Together with the dysgenics, like everybody is equal today in a way that everything is suppressed, and the media will suppress, for example, certain behaviors, or they will teach, for example, like a cat and a dog in a house. They will teach the cats to behave the same as a dog. Okay, equality. But as soon as you release them out of the house, the cat will be a cat climbing the trees and hunting mice, and the dog will hunt the cat. Simple as that. Or you have these cases where you have these house pigs. Nice pigs, healthy skin, healthy to our standards of like fluffy. But as soon as they are released in the wild, just a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, I've read this today, and they are completely wild. The fur has become wilder, and the mentality is wilder. As soon as they're taken in the house, they cannot come back to this house piggy mentality anymore. They just become a wild pig, simple as that. Same with dogs and wolves. Some dogs will appreciate the taste of blood and raw meat and the hunt once they have tasted it. And so it's with the peoples of various races and classes. And continuing about organization of the organs, today we have been, well, degenerated in the face, the jaws, due to our diets. Degenerated in the mentality of perceiving everything sexually, because sex sells in commercials and is propagated in this way that it is very, very good to do, very masculine. Sex without impregnation, that's not really a masculine thing, I would say, but rather a waste. I've read that sperm is created one of the components of your blood. So in a way, you really spill your blood, and blood is a vital, you say, component of your body, of your energy, libidino. Instead of projecting your sexual energy upon getting an actual woman, investing in your children, or getting your children, or investing in reading, your intellect, in sports. Because if you can notice, if you sport very hard or if you read very hard, you're distracted. You don't think about sexual impulses. If you sport very hard, you don't think at all. You will be tired throughout the body, but not necessarily tired as like sleepy, but tired of in a way it's like not perceiving anything sexual. So that is also a projection of your sexual energy. This is all directed and wasted upon your job and upon infertile sex, upon hedonistic pleasure. And today's organization of the body as well is politically motivated, as I said, with the homosexual agenda, pedophile agenda, because why do we perceive pedophiles or child molesters, rapists, etc. as disgusting? Because children we see as an organism to protect or to guide, etc. Because they don't have fertile traits, as simple as that. They are not fertile. Between a boy and a little girl, there's not much difference except the sexual organs. But if you cut both the hair in a certain way, dressed in a certain way, similar, you cannot really separate them on the tree because the voices are more or less similar in a way. Still, the body, no breast development, no hormonal development too much. So this is really a law, what do you say, an attack against nature itself, because it's not intent of nature. That's what you have to keep in mind. The intent, the motive of nature itself, because we are in a way the creation or the manifestation of nature, of the intent of nature. Because nature, of course, it's a flux. It's not really designed, but it's just happened to be killed. Certain organisms be killed in a certain way, with certain degree of consciousness, intellect, understanding, and sexual incitements, etc. So that's why we see the pedophiles as vile creatures in general, even though politically this is getting numbed, and due to the degeneracy of many people already, of the Dodopians, the so-called Europeans, with their pathetic legacy of nothing at all anymore, because they have today is more a shell of their ancestors, looking a little bit as a representation of their past, but really degenerated in intellect, etc., and hierarchy of organs, and taste. Taste is very important. Not talking about taste, sexual selection or attraction is also a form of taste. Beauty, aesthetic, symmetry, or proportion, I would say. Proportion. And the tastes of foods is also a culling of organs. What does your body need? What does your body longs for? Your brains, etc. The taste of books, the taste of substance, intellect, or glossy magazines, etc. This all has to do with taste, and taste is the hierarchy of organs, really. The brain, the sexual organs, the muscles, etc. And the projection. How much do you project your energy upon reading or upon sports, and what kind of reading, sports, and a balance in between, for example. And this taste is disproportionate, unbalanced, or rather inverted for some people, and literally, like genetically, that a mind that it is the opposite of my taste. For example, with a Coca-Cola, with the smell for gasoline, of cars driving by, whatever, of consumption shit, etc. And we have this taste for sugar, which is exploited due to the sugar industry, because sugar was more rare in the older times, before the Industrial Revolution and the manipulation of refined sugars. And so that's why it tastes so good. It was rare, and we needed it to a degree, and if it tastes so good, we collect a lot of it in those times, and then we eat it. Today, it's exploited in every kind of food, and not just exploited, it's also industrial. It's not real sugar. It's crystal white sugar. The brown sugars, if I'm correct, certain brown sugar are the more natural sugars actually, and of course the sugars are from fruits. This is the manipulation of the hierarchy of our organs. Then of course we have the brain and how we perceive the world, how is your brain designed, your cranial capacity, how do you view the world in proportion to yourself, sexual incitement. Yeah, that's more or less it about the hierarchy of organs. In modern society, I also want to note, the way we live and live rather as existing as working, as a slavish job. For example, you have this person called Vark Vikernes, a Tullian Perspective, you can watch on YouTube, listen to him. He has great substance and understanding of how we lived 2000 years ago and how other peoples lived before that, and similar views in this way. So you can basically listen to him about civilization today and about how we lived back then. Today we work, and often the work involves unnatural movements, for example, as a construction worker, 40 hours a week. Unnatural movements for your body, which is not designed for it, because we weren't called to work like that. This is the fault of civilization and the degeneracy of civilization. Not just sheltering of degenerate people, but also degenerating you. And you have a lot of office jobs, call centers, and call centers often involve the most intellectually stupid crap you can imagine. You fill your mind, and so your brain to develop this memory to memorize things. Okay, that's a good thing that you can develop, but it will be filled with crap for certain call centers, for example. And this will numb your mind, numb your energy, etc. You will not project anything, and you are in, as it were, in a bubble of work. Like, you perceive everybody as a certain equal because they can do these same skills, which anybody more or less can learn from any race and class. And if you have enough the will and the, how do you say, the focus upon the job, because I perceive too much focus also as a certain degenerate manner. Because this focus will keep the people focused for 10 years upon the same job without ever really thinking about something else. In an artistic manner, I would say. A certain interactive, hyperactive manner of perceiving the world and not being able to concentrate fully upon a certain subject the whole day or the whole years. I mean, unless you're of course very excited about a certain subject, but that's an other degree. But in general, just focus regardless of excitement. It's also degeneracy of the mind and of the brains. To not travel in your mind to certain thoughts or be distracted and be excited about other things. And different tastes, for example, are being led by your tastes and by your desires and by your dreams and by your memories, etc. People suppress them because they can focus, and this focus is really a degeneracy of the modern world as well. And when you sit at your job, in any office job, as a banker, as in a call center, in a supermarket, whatever, you sit in a chair all day, and we're not designed to sit in a chair all day. We're designed to sit in a certain way, yes, that's why chairs are designed in a certain way that is compatible to our bodies. But today we have these chairs with these arm leans and with the back support, etc. And this back support is degeneracy for your back because you will not develop the muscles below your back and in your shoulders and in your neck. And of course I also have this degeneracy then, of course, because it's a lazy job. You just sit 8 hours a day. You can lay in a lazy chair, sit back, and you have these pictures on Google. You can find them easily, where you see literally these people with on this lazy man's chair, big black chair, and just sitting behind, laid back. And they really look like the form of the chair itself. It's not like a person is sitting on an object, but as if they are a part of the chair itself. And this also has an effect upon the organization of your body, of course. Of course, reflects your organs and your metabolism, because this is how you perceive the world, this is your discipline, and this is your cognitive taste, etc. This is your projection of energy, etc., etc. But also, if it's your job, you can also become trained to do this in a certain way, even though you have the potential to grow much further in the capacity of physical awareness and health. So the organs get in a certain position of your stomach. Your stomach will not develop in a certain muscular way as well, because no training or a natural training in a gym, for example, without too much overall training of your body together in a more aggregate way of running, sports, wrestling, sports fighting, etc., where you use the whole body and your motoric of your brain, etc. And due to sitting in a certain way, your organs get placed, positioned also in a certain way, or pressed in a certain way. For example, women are designed to get pregnant as well. So if they become fat, they already have more fat than men in general. This is the natural way of women. So if they become pregnant, if they become fat without being pregnant, the organs are also getting, how to say, getting more forward, because it makes place for the baby as well, that's how the body is designed for the woman. But the man, if they become fat, the fat will compact itself around the organs itself. So the organs are literally within the fat, and this has also degenerate impact upon your organs and about your metabolism. Because even if you have the capacity and potential and even the will years ago, once you become fat, the metabolism will change in a certain way, your mentality will change, and you will not perceive it anymore, you don't care anymore. You can, for example, compare to the idealism of young men. Young, healthy men are more passionate about idealism in general, more radical. When they convert to a certain ideology or discover something, they're more enthusiastic about it. But once you grow older, you become, how do you say, more enslaved to the system, to the everyday slur of work, etc. And yeah, you can compare to that with the organs, position of organs, and just like your taste buds are changing every 7 years or so, and to a certain degree, the positioning of the organs, the hierarchy of the organs, or the dominance of certain organs also change in a certain way over time during your growth, through maturity or immaturity, growing immaturity, even growing older. It's the degeneracy of the modern world as well. So we become our jobs in a way like we take the substance of the jobs of things we don't need in regards with actually living, like building your home, building skills, developing skills, investing in your family. We just invest in our house. We invest in sexual interaction without really building anything up. We invest in relationships, etc. No sports or whatever, or useless sports, specialized. That's the thing, specialization. The specialization of certain organs. The brain gets filled with crap, but it gets specialized, and your body becomes numb. Also vice versa. Too much focus upon the body makes your brain numb, or how do you say, underdeveloped, retarded. And we become our jobs in a way that we become an extension of the job. We literally start to think like the job. Like, I work like this, this is my job, and this job is me. And people making commercials without knowing it, advertising that job, because they are a manifestation of the job, an extension of the job, of the identification with it. This is also abused in today's society of tribalism. You have a tribalism of you cannot get away with it, 1, 2, 3, racial and ethnic tribalism. So they project this upon football. Everybody can become a certain football member. Just wear this specific t-shirt or color, and you are a specific tribe, and you have these specific emotions you feel and share together. And people integrate it in the football team itself. If you can kick a ball, you're good enough. If you have a leg, just one leg, and the other one is numb, whatever. If you can kick it, you're in the team, regardless of your background, of your political views. Of course, political views are today also matter for sports. Always matters in a certain way. But you can also see the supportiveness of certain face. You can literally see from a face what the positioning of the organs is. What do they think about? How do they perceive the world, etc. What is their taste in digestion of foods? You can all see it from the face and from the development. It's a reflection of your behavioral standards and tendencies, really. We are the reflection of the inside, and the inside also imposes itself upon the outside. I can become, for example, if there's no other choice, if I never started to read, if I never discovered certain books or whatever, for example, I could become very unhealthy and eat a lot of shit, and this unhealthy shit become imposed upon the outer appearance of myself, so become very fat and unhealthy skin, greasy, whatever. That will be a possibility. The inside imposing itself upon the outside, the manifestation, because it's intertwined. But also the outside reflects the balance. For example, if you're just in a good balance, or just regular manifestation, whatever. The outside reflects the inside, or the potential. Even if you're unhealthy, you can see still the potential of becoming, if you become more healthy, if you change yourself, your lifestyle. So there's no difference in inside and outside too much. It's just imposing the outside and the inside. It's just keeping itself in a balance. Today we have as I told previously, earlier, the environment itself is opposing itself upon us. With the bad air, with the working environment, with the advertisement everywhere, the environment imposing itself upon you, and you have to cope with it. You have to develop a certain shield. But regardless if you build a shield, the metabolism still will perceive these sexual advertisements, the stupidity of people, for example, political views, the constant perception of things, colors, and tastes, and dust, etc., and just civilization, city life, etc., city dwelling life. This has an effect upon the organs, and the organs will eventually also degenerate in a certain way, either to cope with it or to really be affected in a harmful manner by the environment. And this will reflect also in the outer appearance eventually, and if not directly by you, then as in the offspring, as a reflection of you, as an extending mirror of you, because the offspring will have an effect, will be a direct manifestation of you and your ancestors, what you endured, did you take in, what did it alter to your genetic makeup. Your brains developed until you were 25 around this year. How much did you stimulate your brain? How much capacity did you to what capacity did you develop your brain? Because even with learning a lot, you can feel sometimes a headache. This means you have, just like sporting very hard, if you have pain, sore muscles, it means your muscles have broken down and they recreate itself. If they don't recreate itself in a bigger and stronger manner, it means there's a blessure. It becomes crippled, for example. And this can also happen to the brain in a certain way. You become crippled in a mentally retarded way, or under development of the capacity of the brain. So everything has an impact upon your organization of organs, and most importantly, or not most importantly, but not too much emphasized, it is the political dominance of certain organs. Because the political dominance of the organs of today is obviously the sexual organs. It is, even though people have potential, we constantly propagated with the sexual organs to explore everything, to have constant gratification for this, and besides that, the lazy man's job, also that to be lazy as much as possible, to degenerate yourself, to become sit in front of the television, that's life. Go on vacations to get a rest, but this vacation ideal is more or less nothing than the idealism of overworked meals, as Nietzsche would say. This vacation job is just Without these kind of jobs, you never would have this kind of desiring of vacations and the advertisement and idealism for vacations and going on vacations and talking about vacations, talking where you going to on vacation, because all related to your job and to the civilized life. This has nothing to do with actual relaxation. It's just like you have horses, and a horse also needs some rest and some extra caretaking, so it can continue eventually with its jobs and duties which man imposed upon the horses. And same with cows, you know. If you actually take care of the cows in a certain manner, in a nice manner, you even give them names, they will understand this identification to a certain degree. They're not that stupid of animals, but they're farm animals in a way. So if you treat them well in a certain way, they give more milk, and that's what people want. And that's also what people want for other people, to give your milk, to give your libidino to the society, to the economics of society. Yeah, that's the idealism of today, the economics. And that's why also today we are more easily brainwashed to think of being replaced by machines and replace nature by machines and being replaced by third world peoples, even though they cannot really keep this economy intact because of their mental capacity is lower than us. But that you accept more or less better the Dodopians, because everything is about the economic ideal. So it's not anymore about your lineage, about the manifestation of the climate, of your heritage, of your blood, etc., of the survival of your tribe, because the tribe is the ideal, and the ideal is the economics. Everybody can become a part of the economic ideal, of the motor of this way of life. And everything has to do with taste, the positioning of organs, hierarchy of organs, and the political dominance of organs and stimuli of the organs. So, yeah, more or less about organs. A book of Francis Sparshot, A Measured Pace toward a philosophical understanding of the arts of dance. It was some interesting things about it to say about organs and about the development of rhythm and music, etc. And not necessarily dance itself or the history of dance itself, but really the dance as organs, of development from nature, of your brains, etc. So, symmetry and asymmetry. Our bodies confront us with the fact that forms may be symmetrical or asymmetrical, that symmetrical items are sometimes interchangeable and sometimes not, and that symmetry may be departed from and recovered. Once introduced, this becomes an important formal resource, setting tidiness and dullness against untidiness and incidence. And whenever we carry parcels in each hand, we discover that balance and symmetry are strongly but subtly related. So, do we have a balance today? Do we have symmetry of the mind and of the body, or rather proportion? Because symmetry is more or less this line, and symmetry of the mind and of the body will reflect, of course, the intelligence of you, but also the proportion. Proportion, I would say, is better relationship to the balance. Like the hip to waist ratio, the proportion for fertility. People who arrange items such as a dance chorus on a stage sometimes trade symmetry in for a sort of metaphorical balance, in which left and right of the stage are balanced, as it were, on a central fulcrum. By maintaining equality between wave and distance of dance person on either side, we may never notice that no physical lever exists and that in reality no balancing is going on. Let's see. Alright. Material objects. Animal bodies are integrated organic systems controlled by a central nervous system, acting and reacting, pursuing and avoiding, growing and decaying, and their effective functioning as such is associated with such qualities as agility, grace, whim, and stealth. The human body has its own characteristic size and proportions, articulations and rigidities, musculature and skeleton. The weight and structure of its limbs impose ranges of flexibility, natural rhythms of swing, limits of speed, norms not to be transgressed without special physical or mental effort. All these are in relation to an intricate perceptual system, with hierarchies of salient stimuli related to the sense organs and motor systems. The whole makes up a system for moving and staying in a variously enticing and threatening environment. The resulting movement, intimately related to a system of typical motivations, is inevitably expressive and mimetic in an indeterminate fashion, because it is the movement of a body, all of whose possibilities are initially ways of responding to a meaningful environment. So idealistic environment, human-made environment, natural environment is all relates to the organs, positioning of organs, etc., training of organs. And the motive of movement also relates to this environment. But just because this is so, a movement that is straightforwardly expressive and or mimetic is never exclusively so. A movement of head or eye in observation or apprehension will have definite formal properties in physical terms, as well as in terms of the overall vitality of the living animal. Since a human body is that of an animal with a big brain, with capacity for language and mathematics and elaborate information handling capacities, of which we do not fully understand the nature or the limits, any human movement is immediately seen as integrated into systems of memory and planning, hierarchical and parallel. The stimuli of your body, if you digest something, if you're sick in your stomach, whatever, this will also get certain reflexes from your body, and this will also have this memory of your body of how to react, on how to cope with certain pains, for example, or just memory in general of movements, of how we are designed by culling and by nature, hierarchy of organs. A human movement can never be seen as a reflex or immediate response to an identifiable stimulus. We know that a human being may always be up to something. Well, certain things are of course impulsive without thought, without intelligence needed necessarily. A human movement is always seen with an aura of indefinite possibilities, with more going on than will ever meet the eye, which is true. We always have a certain motive behind our actions. Always look for the motive. This will reflect the action. The action can seem noble, but often the motive never was noble. Animals mostly ignore other animals unless they are related to them as prey or predator. Hierarchy of organs, tastes, and the design of your body, your skeleton, muscles, and your instincts. Social animals, however, including humans, take cognizance of members of their own species. Human cooperations, conflicts, conversations, and gestures take place against the background of general cognizance. Human interaction takes place in a sort of space in which people pass or encounter, meet or part, acknowledge or ignore each other. In addition to the specific miming that may take place in a dance, there is a level of meaning on which the dancers are mutually related to each other as human, without anything in particular being expressed or conveyed. Face to face, dos a dos, alumin left to right, are specific danceable relations that can obtain only among people but have no definite meaning. No line can be meaningfully drawn between this sort of spirituality and the domain of expression. The complexities introduced into movements by the facts of humanity are uncharted and perhaps inexhaustible. I merely mentioned two. Anyway, just to quote some. But now about the face to face. The face, as I told you, is a reflection of your metabolism, your stuff whistling, exchange of stuff, and coping with the environment, understanding the perception of environment and yourself and your relationship to others. Sloterdijk explained it as in his books Spheres. He has a three-part trilogy of this book, the Spheres, and he explains very well about how the face reflects what you are or what the environment is. For example, the face reflects what your organs perceive. If I see shit and I identify the shit, but I don't just see the shit, I also smell it. The face will express this, have this vulgar expression of disgust. Like you don't want anything to do with it, because the taste and smell, the perception of it, the identification of it is also related to your organs, your hierarchy, and your development, and the overall positioning. And so your face says, this is shit, this is disgusting. And today's degeneracy of the face is in ways that we don't reflect each other anymore. The cameras shape you, modern mechanics shape you, the modern environment shapes you, and you get this blank fluoride stare or idealistic stare of numbness, or I would say civility, you know, like as Satya Kalikanstar always notes about civility. For example, somebody makes a fart, it smells horribly, but out of civility, you just sniff it up, take a deep breath, and exhale and smile to the person who farted right in front of you in a small area, and just be civil and say, the air is so pure here. No, that's the civility. That is expressing what your organs are initially against, because the motive of the organs is to be against this shit. And also a great philosopher you can read and listen to, Satya Kalikanstar. He has this forum in his YouTube channel. And anyway, if you read Sloterdijk about the face, also a great philosopher about many subjects, yeah, it becomes like a mirror. It's like it used to be a real mirror of like you do something and the face will reflect it. You never really saw your face anyway 2000 years ago in reflection, for example, maybe in the water, etc., or on a metal, because metals used to be used as mirror, but not everybody had, of course, the money to have all these items. So we reflect to each other what you are. If you're a stupid idiot, I reflect to you, you're a stupid fucking idiot. Or not just with the face, but also with the body, you know? Or the tone of voice. Today is like, you have the shit, and you have the mirror, and the mirror reflects the shit. And from a distance, you know, if you see it in the mirror, you don't smell the shit. You just see the shit reflecting, and you don't touch it, and for all you know, it's tasty chocolate, whatever, or chocolate cake. So this is civility, you know. Shit becomes just a mirror without smell, taste, identification, and reflecting what it actually is, the substance and the organs and the intelligence, whatever, of people and the environment. So the face is just getting mechanical in a way. But also the cameras will shape you. You always have this mask on you of behaving in such a way, of always having an eye on you. And of course, photography has an impact upon the face of how you let yourself to be known by the world. For example, Facebook, etc. You make continuously selfies and photos of yourself, and people upload it for their likes and whatever, and you're hot or whatever, or because otherwise they do not exist. This is the social interaction and acknowledgement of existence, not even living with existence. They get the likes and this. This resonates with I exist. So anyway, the face and the body and the mind and the intent of biology do not reflect anything anymore about its original intentions. Simple as that. Is it about proving yourself as existing and being polite and civil, political? Every organ has now its political dominion, its political place, its political motive. It is all propagated and degenerated, manipulated and directed.